the visiting experts dorm at Chongqing Medical University. This is my 6th apartment in 10 years in China. The foyer is big and empty, which I can't tell is a preference of college architecture or a preference, Chinese preference for big empty entryways. Here we are on the 15th floor. Don't stalk us, but you can come on in for a virtual tour. So it's no MTV Cribs, but we've been working on it for 3 weeks. Shoes off, by the way. And I think we put together something pretty nice. So this apartment is actually a part of my benefits package, AKA free apartment. And the school is in Yuzhong district, which is kind of the center-ish of the city. And I heard from a guy that apartments in this area of this size might go for like 3,000 a month, 3,000 yuan a month. So as a benefit goes, not too shabby. Like most Chinese rental apartments, it has a huge space and comes with its own furniture. But unlike most Chinese rental apartments that we've had anyway, the furniture is not giant and hideous and a terrible use of the space. So I'm pretty pleased with that. We've kind of mixed it in with our own furniture to actually make it feel like our own thing. And 6 apartments I've had in China, none of them have closets. What's the deal with that? Where do you keep all your stuff? Tell me in the comments how you handle that. Or if I'm crazy and I'm the anomaly. I'm the anomaly, Emily. We've got racks on racks on racks. This is our closet solution for the moment. It's a running joke between Peter and I that we always have a kind of weird couch situation going on in every apartment. This one is supposed to be an L-shaped sectional, but the L shape kind of wastes the space, so we just put it out long like this and have a mini bar in the middle. We also covered it with pillows and blankets because my life goal is to have every space be a bed. A problem I don't think gets enough play about living in China is that here, every apartment I've lived in has had concrete walls, whereas in America, there's wood in the walls, so I can't hang anything. Everything we've ever hung on the wall in China has fallen off. It's maddening. Do you have this problem? Tell me in the comments. But like most expats, solve this with maps. They're thematically on brand, they're classy, and they're just a poster that you can stick up on the wall and you can stick back up when they fall down. The story of 2 TVs is we lived in an apartment that had a bad TV, so we bought our own TV. But TVs kind of come standard as the rental package in Chinese rental apartments. But our TV is often bigger and nicer than the provided TV. So this is what happens. Most of our apartments have had a porch. This one doesn't, but it has this kind of dining area breakfast nook, which is very nice. This is our kitchen. It's little but cute and functional. Most of our counter space is taken up by our expat oven, of which we are the 3rd owners. But it does the job. My one issue is that the counters are so short. This is a recurring theme for me in China. I'm surprised by things being small. In America, things are not small for me. I am small for America. To alleviate this problem, we got this shelf at IKEA, because they have IKEA in Chongqing. And actually, we got a whole bunch of cabinetry, which we'll show you in the hallway later. But first, a quick stop in the bathroom. This bathroom has a Western toilet, which is not bolted down to the floor, as they generally aren't in Chinese apartments. We've had apartments with Western toilets before, and we're spoiled because we've had many apartments with 2 bathrooms before, so this is actually the first time we don't have a squat toilet, if you can believe it. Another fun feature is these heat lamps over the shower. We'll see when the electric bill comes, but they're quite luxurious. Relative to our apartment size, we actually have a really long hallway. It's the reason I can get 2,000 steps in without leaving the apartment. But it's actually where we ended up keeping all of the stuff that didn't fit in our kitchen. We have a lot of stuff. I don't know, do we have more stuff than Chinese people, or do we have more stuff than foreign visiting university experts? But these two cabinets are kind of full of dry goods and Western Taobao ordered relish and spices. Maybe we cook more? I don't know. What's wrong? What's different about us? Our fridge is out in the hallway too, which is actually not the first time our fridge hasn't been in the kitchen. I read the reason for this is that refrigeration is relatively new in China. I'm not saying like 3 years ago they didn't have fridges, but like 20 or 50 years ago they didn't have fridges in every kitchen. So kitchens just weren't designed with the space for a refrigerator. If you know differently, feel free, Chinese people, to correct me in the comments. Our bedroom is all the things you could ask for in a bedroom. We got a bed. They provided us this closet, which was not big enough for just my clothes. So we got this mamma jamma at IKEA. And before you accuse me of women be shopping, it's Peter who has gigantic clothes. I don't know why his clothes are so massive. Over here, we have our drying rack. Chinese apartments just generally don't have a dryer. If you're in China and have a dryer, I do actually want to hear from you. And is your electric bill astronomical? Like I mentioned, in other apartments, we have had an outdoor porch where we can dry our clothes, but we just don't have that here. But given that Chongqing is so humid, they actually might dry faster inside with the air conditioning on than they might outside. In previous apartments, some of them we've been able to get 2 bedrooms, but that second bedroom always comes with children's bedroom furniture. So to make our office, we've had to like move a bed into the living room or set up a computer under a bunk bed. But we are really happy with the space in this apartment. It's our first real deal studio office, and it's wonderful. Most of our guitars we hand carried with us on the plane from America, except for this one we bought in Luzhou, and this little guy. I built up my home gym during COVID, but as longtime followers know, I never like leaving the house, so it's still pretty useful. Also, it's still COVID. Stay inside. So here are Peter's action figures, which many of them he brought from America, but actually Toys R Us is still open here in China, so he's regularly adding new little dolls. Since we don't have any storage space or closets, this is the corner where we keep all of our boxes. I would love to throw them out, but I have to admit they were invaluable in moving all of our breakable stuff during this last move. And we're not gonna die here, so we have to keep them. This is our whiteboard where we keep production organization stuff. Right now it's some art that the shots got cut from our upcoming short film, which I really love it, so I'm not ready to erase it yet and start organizing. But that's making short films. And then over here in this space we have a green screen, which enables us to do productions like talk shows or Emily in Space. So we have ample space. We can do exercise, production work, crafts, whatever, dance. And this is the office space where we spend hours editing and working on these videos to bring you content. We've got 2 iMacs, which might seem extravagant, except if you know this one is 10 years old and it still works, but it can't handle the heavy duty stuff, so we had to get a new one this spring. But it's kind of nice having these desks together. It reminds me of how Peter and I met. We worked at a newspaper together and our desks were right next door. So I'm pretty much, and anywhere I lay my head is my home. or more realistically, anywhere where all my stuff is my home. So the kind of cheat answer to is China my home is like, yes, geographically. I know there are all kinds of political associations with that. Like, I'm not a Chinese citizen and I never will be, but I also kind of don't want to be. I don't feel connected with citizenship or any kind of politics as a definition of my home. It's more of like, am I here? Is my life here? Am I comfortable? Then yes, I'm home. Or even more sappy, is Peter here? Then that's my home. The way I think about it, I can have more than one home because my friends and family are back in my other home. I haven't been there for a few years because of different reasons, including COVID, but it still can be my home even if I don't have a physical presence there. I do feel culturally connected there. And here, I'll never be Chinese, but 10 years, I feel at least used to what's going on, that I can say, like, going out and about in this world feels home to me too. I think there's material comforts that make a home too. Our first apartment in China, the space was nice, but it was kind of old and it was full of spiders. And when it rained, it leaked a lot and it rained a lot. So we slowly shrank from that space until we were like living out of one tiny bedroom. But since then, we've been really fortunate to have like nice enough spaces where we can live and fill it with our junk. Because the junk being ours, for me, also feels important. I kind of, even though it's impractical, I wanted our next apartment to have no furniture in it and just be our furniture, because I'm a little tired of having to make decisions based on other people's design choices. But that's less of a China problem and more of a renter problem. And I would have been a lifelong renter even had I stayed in America. I just don't, anywhere I lay my hat is my home, and I want to take my hat around, you know? I don't actually, I like to nest for about 10 years and then move on and make a new nest, which is harder to do if you actually own property. So don't own anything, that's my motto. At the same time, buy all the peanut butter you can. I didn't actually have a childhood where I moved around a lot, and I understand like the army brat lifestyle, those people maybe grow up and be restless, so that's not where my restlessness comes from. But I do like the idea of part of life is this circumstance is going to change. Hopefully it's changing because of my choice, but that's not always going to be the case. So I do, God, I don't want to say this, it's so cliche, but the world is my home. And I also know that's such like a privileged thing to say. Not everybody gets to exist in the world that way, but I wish that they did if that's what they wanted. I guess that's maybe to tie it back in with citizenship and nationalism, as what I was saying before, like I don't have a bigger allegiance to some identity unless it's like the universe. I'm allied with the universe. Like if it was plausible to go to Mars and it didn't cost $1 billion and you didn't have to be a jerk to think that was a good idea, if that was a realistic and environmentally friendly thing to do, I'd like to go visit Mars. I want to see it. I want to see it all. And I want to spend some time there, make it my home. But then also, not be trapped. Home isn't a trap. So the too long didn't read? Yeah, China's my home for now, I guess. I've had a good 10 years here, maybe 10 years more. But let me show you my garden. Welcome to my garden. Since we lost our balcony space, I just brought these up to the roof. You know, in a classic ask for forgiveness, not for permission. All of our neighboring roofs have luscious giant gardens. The people who live here are more transient, I think, so maybe they're not starting gardens. So yeah, my plants that are doing the best are the ones that tolerate and in fact enjoy neglect. So I got lots of good mint. My lemongrass is so happy. The good thing about putting it on the roof is that I get actual direct sun, so the carrots are growing and what are they called?